got a little leak on a hatch here. It's a model number XR200, about 20 inches square on the inside dimension. Brought it here. This is where we noticed the water coming in. There's kind of two places that are water, or three places water can come in on a boat, on a hatch here. It can come in between the acrylic lens and the aluminum frame. It can come in between the gasket and the upper and lower frame here, or it can actually come in through the bedding, where the lower frame is bedded to the deck. This one here we identified as the rubber gasket leak. We knew that because the water, it was totally dry up along here as we sprayed it down with the wash down, but the water seemed to be running along this lower edge, dry up here, but water running from in between the gasket here. So it's pretty indicative of a gasket needing to be changed. We'll open that up to change it. Okay, here we are on the outside of the boat now. We've got the hatch open. You can see right here there's a raised edge all the way around the top edge of the hatch. That raised edge meets the gasket on the upper frame. You can see how the gasket starts to form a little groove there as over time it compresses. All the way around. Gasket looks pretty good, but still got a little sponge. It's getting hard though. We'll go ahead and change it. You can see right along the back edge where the hinge is, there's a seam in the gasket right here. All we're going to do is we're going to stick a slot screwdriver in there, and we're going to pry the gasket out all the way around the groove. Once we get it out, we'll just kind of rough up the surface, get any loose chunks of adhesive out, and then we'll squeeze in some fresh caulking and a new gasket. Okay, so now we've got the old gasket removed. You can see I was able to kind of get it out in 2 or 3 large sections. For the most part, it's just going to pull itself out. The adhesive has probably started to let go after all this time. It is a 1985, so we're talking 30 plus years. Again, all we use to do that here is we got ourselves like a little slot screwdriver, or I like to use a little flat or half round file here. Something roughly the same size as the diameter of the groove. You're going to be able to stick it into the slot, pry the old gasket out, and you should end up with something like this. Now you can see the groove came out fairly clean. There's still little remnants of old gasket in there. Some sections are a little worse. For example, here's a little flap of some old stuff. We'll make sure that we get that out. We'll scrape that out. We don't have to be too particular, but anywhere, again, here in the corner, anywhere there's kind of some buildup of old gasket, we will want to just kind of scrape that out roughly. Clean it out with your finger. As long as you get all the large chunks, loose flaps out of there, you'll be fine. The adhesive that we're going to supply you with the new gasket is quite strong. It's going to stick to this old stuff, no problem. If you were going to try and substitute the adhesive with something like a silicone or something like that, this groove would need to be Dremeled clean, and then you'd want to apply some sort of solvent or something to get the residue off, and then you could probably use a silicone as well. The liquid neoprene that we use is far superior though. You can open the package of gasket that we've sent you here. You should have purchased a tube of gasket adhesive. Now this caulking cartridge is probably enough to do, about 10 hatches or more. A whole boatload of that, I like to say. We often ship a few extra inches of the gasket as well. Make sure you do order the correct diameter. This 1985. We've applied a small bead of adhesive to the inside of the groove on the hatch. Our groove here measures about a 1/4 inch wide by no more than about a 1/16 inch high. I've basically just tried to use the tip of the adhesive or the caulking gun to kind of smooth out the ridge of the caulking. We really don't need very much in there. You just need a skim in there, an 1/8 inch or 1/16 inch bead. It's all you need to make good contact with the gasket. So we've gone all the way around here. I'm going to do my best to video this while I'm insetting the gasket, but start by uncoiling your gasket. You're going to want to get all curves out of the gasket, try and get it as straight as possible, any twists. We typically like to start our gasket edge, you'll see that it's 2 pieces, it's linear. We're going to butt those 2 edges up along the hinge edge here, and that way when you open up the hatch you're typically staring at the handle edge. So we're going to keep the seam along the bottom edge. That's going to keep things looking nice and clean. with one hand here, carefully, I'm just going to carefully set the gasket into the groove, like so, and work my way all the way around. Take particular time in the corners here. Let me get it done here, and I'll show you what I mean. As you're placing the gasket into the groove, you have to be careful that you don't pull the gasket tight, as the gasket will want to pull itself out of the groove. Alright, so here I've taken time to make sure the gasket's nicely set into the groove. If I was to try and pull that at all, you could see how the gasket starts to want to roll up out of that groove. So you actually want to take the material and push it back into the corner until it makes good contact. Alright, a lot of people will experience leaks along the back corner of their hatches. If you've tried to put a new gasket in recently, check that you haven't pulled the gasket too tight. You want to make sure that it's in the center of the groove all the way around. Just continue to press the gasket in. Again, take time in the corners. When you buy the gasket from us, we'll often ship you a little extra just in case. You're just going to trim off that tail of the gasket right here before we butt the ends together.